Hey everyone, so I decided to do this video today because in case you guys have been looking at the stock market, I know some of you guys been playing the virtual game and you guys are like, I don't know what to buy because everything seems very expensive right now, and you're absolutely right. It is expensive right now, and that's because SPY has been rallying off the charts. The market's just been going up and up ever since Biden's became president. Like we literally, all right. So just in a nutshell, right? You guys see the S&P, Dow, Nasdaq, Russell. Like you guys always hear about these things. So basically, what S&P is, it's really just an index, right? They call it indices. An index is basically an indicator of the markets, right? It's so when I talk about SPY or the S&P 500, S&P 500 basically are all these companies under one index. So they basically, so the S&P 500 incorporates all of these companies that you guys see right here. 500 companies, like you got tech, you got pharmaceutical, basically any industry, and the best companies like in America, like they're doing well. They basically have them all under one index just to kind of gauge how the market is doing. All right, so SPY is basically um a representation of the S&P 500. And if you guys look at the historical data, right? So Biden got elected recently, and prior to him getting elected, SPY was only about $330, and it started, with the whole election thing and stuff, the speculation, people were bullish, right? So they had confidence in the market. They started buying more stocks and lifted up the prices to about 340, and then dropped a little bit, right? Because we didn't know who was going to win. And then boom, once Biden became president, it just started skyrocketing, as you guys can see right here, right? It just skyrocketed to like 360 something dollars. And mind you, remember what I said, SPY is basically an indicator of all these companies like Apple, Microsoft, blah 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 blah. So let me give you guys an example, right? So Apple, weighs like 6.41, blah blah blah, right? So they all have some weight on SPY, and when you add all of this weight up, it's gonna equal up to 100%, right? So this Apple weighs about like 6%. So let's say Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and Alphabet, which is Google, they're not doing well. Being that this has so much weight on SPY or the S&P 500, it's gonna make SPY go down. But right now, a lot of people are, buying stocks in like the tech sector, like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. So it's gonna lift up SPY. In other words, it also makes people kind of confident about the market, right? As you guys can see here, most of the stuff here is green. So people are buying, buying, buying right now, and that's lifting up the stock prices, which is why some of you guys are like, what should I buy? Right? It's not easy. So I'm really bearish right now because I don't believe that these companies are really worth whatever they're worth at this moment, especially with the way the economy is going. See, like when you guys read the news, right? Like you guys be reading all vaccine news. There's gonna be a vaccine coming. See, like that's all things that the media kind of like pushes out to give us hope, right? And a lot of people, they buy right now based off of faith, based on belief. They forget about looking at the fundamentals. Like, does the company have money? Does it even have sales? Is the business even like being innovative? Like, is it gonna continue to expand? A lot of people aren't looking at those things. They're just buying based on faith. Oh, vaccine's gonna come back, so guess what? The cruises will probably come back too. So let me buy cruise lines. But then they don't realize that the cruise lines right now are broke, man. That's why Norwegian had to issue like another, I forgot, was it like 20 million or 40 million shares to raise capital. So these are things that you guys got to think about because eventually the market will correct itself. So right now for me, I have positions that's against the market because I don't think S&P 500 could keep rallying up like this. I believe eventually um the cities are going to be on lockdowns again because they're already locking down schools in New York. And that's the same thing that happened last time before the whole country locked down. They started with the schools first. So if they're already locking down the schools, logically speaking, it just makes sense how it's going to be like a domino effect where other businesses are going to have to be like forced to shut down as well. Um, but like I said, these are all just my opinions, my speculation. You guys might have your own thoughts too, which is cool because you guys shouldn't take whatever I tell you, um, and just say like, oh, because Kai said it, he's right. I'm not always right, you know. You guys might have your own way of thinking, and whatever you're thinking could be right too. It's all logic, it's all speculation, but we just don't believe that these rallies are sustainable because a lot of the news that you guys see about the vaccines and stuff like yeah, does that matter? It does, but there are certain news that really don't matter. Like you hear people talking about like vaccine, but it's like, okay, it's 90% effective, great, but um are we really able to distribute it yet? Can we really get it to the hands of the people? Because we don't want people to just believe in news, because that's what the news has been doing recently. You see, like they just like every other day they just kick out vaccine news, getting people all hype, and really buying into like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. But is everything gonna be okay though? And are we anywhere near being okay? Like, is the vaccine really that effective? Um, did Are they really able to get it to the hands of the people? And even before that, like to me, what are the type of news that matters? Like they're talking about, oh, these people are getting together to talk about stimulus plans again. Cool, but it's like, is it really going to happen, or they're just talking about it? You see, so you guys really need to be able to differentiate what type of news matters and what doesn't, right? Like to me, seeing schools locked down, that matters. Why? Because a lot of parents aren't going to be able to work and they're going to have to file for unemployment. So that's the government having to spend more money. So in order for the parents to be able to be with their kid. So you guys really need to be able to differentiate what type of news matters and what doesn't, and not buy into the hype just like everybody else, because right now there's a lot of people on one side of the ship and the ship's bound to tip over, so it's smart for you guys to get on the other side. So think about that before you guys invest.